So, the first Pikmin game I played was the third one, the deluxe version on the Switch. Never played the first two, so I went into three more or less blind. Played it, liked it, but there wasn't really much staying power there, nothing to reel me back in. Then I played the fourth one. I get it now. This game appeals to me so much more. I think what really separates this from the third one is the lack of a real time limit, and you have unlimited days now. Since the time system's so lenient in this one, that gives you all the more opportunity to appreciate this beautiful, bizarre world. Now, of course, no game's world alone is incentive for exploration, so what's there to discover? Of course, there are different types of Pikmin, all with different strengths and weaknesses. Reds are resistant to fire, yellows can be thrown further, purple Pikmin are heavier and stronger. There's the coloured onions. Each onion corresponds with a specific Pikmin type. You collect, say, the blue onion. You can now sprout blue Pikmin. There are phallic bulbs, which increase the maximum amount of Pikmin you can have out with you at any given time. And the treasures, these can range from fantastical and dazzling to just downright uninteresting. But there's such a rich variety that it almost doesn't matter. Like, I always had a big dumb smile on my face whenever I'd stumble across some sort of Nintendo memorabilia. Earlier on in the game, you find a Game Boy Advance SP. I love stuff like this in games when companies really show some love and appreciation to like previous creative endeavours. Another somewhat recent example being Astro's Playroom. As you progress through that game, you unlock numerous pieces of PlayStation's history like controllers, consoles, etc. Still though, in Pikmin it's not just the Nintendo stuff that's interesting, they make everything at least chortle worthy by giving everything a stupid name. The Game Boy Advance is the Stone of Advancement, this croissant is the Flaky Temptation, the Jiggle Jiggle, and the Zest Bomb, personal favourite of mine. And while this game is supposedly Earth, it's home to the most alien-like fucking rambunctious creatures imaginable. The real star of the show is Ochi though, like the way he putters around on his 2 feet, somehow carrying the weight of up to 100 Pikmin. He's one of Pikmin 4's biggest strengths. He's the real reason why you want to go and rescue all these castaways. Because whenever you rescue one of them, you get 1 point added to his pup drive, which allows for upgrades to his attack power and various other abilities. It's just awesome to see him grow and just become downright overpowered. You get to upgrade your own little guy too, but what I love is that the game introduces these upgrades slowly and makes you yearn for them before you even know they exist. Like, I played through the first level, and the whole time I'm thinking, this game's fun and all, but I wish I could sprint or just move faster sometimes. Well, what do you know, the rush boots popped up in the upgrade menu not long after. I mean, it's nothing that breaks the game though. These upgrades don't change or malform the core gameplay. The upgrades just make you more efficient, which is another pillar of the game's design anyway. In-game efficiency is referred to as Dandori. There are Dandori battles where you face off against NPCs to see who can rack up the most amount of points in a set time limit. And there's also Dandori challenges to see if you and all your Pikmin can scoop up all the treasures in a specific area in like a set amount of time. So the core gameplay is just plain fun, but the story on the other hand. Don't get me wrong, the story's not bad, it's just not front and centre, right? So you and a bunch of other guys land on PNF 404 in search of the many castaways that have gone missing here, but primarily Captain Olimar, the protagonist of the first 2 games. So you travel through a few areas, fending off bulbobs and curing the leaflings. They're kind of like you, but leaves grow all over the face. I mean, I just assumed they were another race in the Pikmin universe, but it turns out it's actually an illness of some sort. You go out on night expeditions to collect glow sap. This is the key ingredient in the cure for the leaflings. Thankfully, these night expeditions don't overstay their welcome. I did all of them, but I'm just glad it's not really forced upon the player. It's sort of like a tower defense side mode. You have to defend the luminoles from all the bloodlusted creatures. Their eyes burn red at night time and they go all out offensive. For the most part, these missions are quite easy, especially once you get your head around the controls and stuff. Once you find Olimar, you can finally go home, which you do almost instantly. Like practically right away, you take off home and the credits roll. What? Oh, okay. There's a post-credit scene. What is this, a fucking Marvel movie? But what? Oh, she's fallen ill.
The boy has fallen ill! Freya! He's ill.
this is where shit gets real. This right here is when the story turns from cutesy fun time to, I am not kidding, if this dog dies, I'm gonna kill someone in real life time. The Pikmin come and go, but Ochi remains by your side for the entire adventure, so he's really the only thing that you become attached to in the game. You go back in search of the cure for Ochi's illness. Pursuing the cure eventually leads to one of the most fun boss fights I've had in a long time. This fucking huge dog. This game is now officially taking the throne from Dog's Life as the best dog game. You work its health bar down and then you're like, well, that was pretty easy. Only for it to unleash some freaky deaky ice powers. Then you whittle down its health once more, only for it to enter a third phase where it now wields electricity. You see where this is going, don't you? Fuck. Finally, the dog drops its collar and you're able to snatch a sample from it, and this is enough to create a cure for Ochi and finally return home. But there's still some extra shit to do, right? There's Olimar's Shipwreck Tale, which is basically the levels you've already been through, remixed to fit a different playstyle where you actually do have a limited amount of days to get your shit together. You've got to collect all of Olimar's ship parts and all your previous progress with collecting the Florlix and the onions and all of your Pikmin, all that's reset, so back to square one. After you complete this mode, this opens up a few extra caves, I believe, but after I'd got the Platinum Medal on all the Dandori challenges and I'd 100%ed every area, done basically everything from the main story, I'd had my fill, you know, I didn't feel compelled to do any of the side content. So, where does the series go from here? Yeah, I could sit and theorise, but anything that I can conjure up, Nintendo's probably going to surpass it anyway. You know, if Pikmin 4 is any indicator, compared to the previous games, the only direction to go from here is upwards. And I'm seriously looking forward to the next installment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.